sorry. Yeah. Mr. President, no man thinks more highly than I do of patriotism, as well as the abilities of the very worthy gentleman who have just addressed the House. But different men often see the same subject in different lights. Sorry. And therefore I hope I'll not be thought disrespectful to those gentlemen if, entertaining as I do, opinions of a character very opposite to theirs, I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. This is no time for ceremony. The question before the House is one of awful moment to this country. For my part, I consider it as nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery. I'm sorry. Should I keep back my opinions at such a time, through fear of giving offense? I should consider myself less guilty of treason toward my country, and an act of disloyalty to the majesty of heaven, which I revere above all earthly kings. Mr. President, it is natural to man to indulge in the illusions of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes against the painful truth and listen to the song of that silence as she transforms us into beasts. Is this the part of wise men engaged in a great and arduous struggle for liberty? Are we disposed to be of the number of those who, having eyes, see not, and having ears, hear not, the things which so nearly concern their temporal salvation? For my part, whatever anguish of spirit it may cost, I'm willing to know the whole truth, to know the worst and provide for it. If we wish to be free, if we mean to preserve and inviolate those inestimable circumstances for which we have been so long contending, if we mean not basely to abandon the noble struggle in which we have engaged, in which we have pledged ourselves never to abandon, until the glorious object of our contest shall be obtained, we must fight. I repeat, sir, we must fight, and appeal to arms, as the God of hosts is all that has left us. They tell us, sir, that we are weak, and able to cope with so formidable an adversary. But when shall we be stronger? Shall it be the next week or the next year? Shall it be so we are totally disarmed, and when the British Guard shall have bound us hand and foot? Shall we gather strength by irresolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the means of effectual resistance by lying substantially on our backs and hugging the delusive phantom of hope until our enemy shall have bound us hand and foot? Sir, we are not weak. If we make proper use of the means which God of nature has placed in our power, 3 millions of people armed in the holy cause of liberty, and in such a country as that which we possess, we are invincible to any force our enemies can send against us. Besides, sir, we shall not fight our battles alone. It is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, sir, we have no election. If we are base enough to desire it, it is too late to retire from the contest. There is no retreat but in submission and slavery. Our chains are forged. May the clanking be heard on the plains of Boston. War is inevitable. Let it come, I repeat, sir, let it come. Sorry. It is in vain, sir, to accentuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry of peace, but there is no peace. The war has actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why we stand here and idle? What is it that gentlemen may wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, a life so sweet, to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what the course of others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.